In the valley of Larkspur Hollow, where the hills curved like sleeping animals and the river spoke in a language older than memory, there lived a girl named Alara. She was not remarkable at first glance. She had no crown, no magic mark on her skin, no prophecy whispered at her birth. She lived in a small stone house at the edge of the village with a crooked chimney and a roof that sighed whenever the wind passed through. Yet from the moment she could walk, Alara watched the moon as if it were watching her back. While other children chased fireflies or counted stars for wishes, Alara studied the moon's slow rise, its pale scars, its changing faces. She learned its moods the way some learn people. When it was full, she felt braver. When it waned, she felt hollow. And when it disappeared entirely, she felt something missing in her chest, as though a door had closed somewhere inside her. Alara's mother, Myra, used to say that curiosity was a gift, but obsession was a debt. Myra had been a healer once, known for her gentle hands and sharper wisdom. But after Alara's father vanished on a night without moonlight, Myra spoke less and slept poorly. She warned Alara not to linger outside after dark, not to stare too long at the sky, not to ask questions that had no answers. But Alara asked them anyway. She asked why the moon followed her on lonely walks. She asked why the river reflected its light even when clouds hid it. She asked why some nights felt heavier than others. Myra would smile sadly and brush Alara's hair, saying only that some things belong to the world and some belong beyond it. The village elders believed the moon was a watcher, a silent witness placed in the sky to remind humans of their smallness. The children believed it was a lantern, held by a giant. The storytellers claimed it was a door sealed shut after a great mistake. Alara believed none of them and all of them at once. To her, the moon felt alive, not in the way animals were alive, but in the way promises were alive. It felt borrowed already, as if it did not truly belong where it hung. The winter the moon began to fade was the winter everything changed. At first, no one noticed. The nights were darker, yes, but winter nights always were. Then the fishermen began losing their way on the river. Then the wolves howled earlier, longer, as if confused. Crops stored in cellars spoiled faster than they should have. Babies cried without reason. Dreams grew restless and sharp. And one night, Alara stood outside and realized the moon was not simply hidden by clouds, it was dimmer, thinner, as if someone had taken a bite from it and forgotten to finish the meal. Panic did not come all at once. It crept. The elders argued. The priests prayed. The scholars searched old books. They spoke of cycles and eclipses and celestial order, but their voices trembled. Alara watched in silence. She felt a tug inside her, a pulling sensation she had never felt before, as if the moon itself were calling her name in a voice too soft for others to hear. When the moon shrank to a silver sliver, Myra finally noticed Alara's sleeplessness. She found her daughter standing barefoot in the frost, staring skyward, lips moving as though answering a question. Myra grabbed her shoulders and demanded she come inside. Alara obeyed, but her eyes never left the sky. That night, Myra told Alara a story she had never told before. She said the moon was once closer to the earth and that humans borrowed its light freely, wasting it on wars and vanity. When the moon pulled away, it did so not out of anger, but exhaustion. If the moon is fading now, Myra whispered, it means someone is taking more than they should. Alara did not sleep at all. By dawn, she knew what she had to do, though she did not know how she knew. She packed a small bag, bread, a knife, her father's old compass that no longer pointed north, and a thread of silver ribbon Mira once said was woven from moonlight itself. She kissed her mother's cheek while she slept and stepped into the woods before the sun rose. The forest beyond Larkspur Hollow was older than roads and less forgiving. Trees leaned close, branches knitting overhead like ribs. Alara walked for hours, guided not by paths but by a quiet pull in her chest. At dusk, she reached a clearing where the air shimmered as if remembering something lost. In its center stood a woman with skin like night water and hair like drifting ash. Her eyes reflected no stars, only depth. You cannot take what is not yours. The woman said before Alara spoke a word. I don't want to take it, Alara replied, her voice shaking. I want to borrow it. The woman studied her for a long time. Borrowing always has a cost. I know. Do you know what the moon does to those who hold it? Alara thought of the darkness creeping into her village, of the restless dreams, of the fading warmth. I know what happens if no one does. The woman stepped aside, revealing a path of pale stone that rose upward into nothingness. Then, climb, she said. But understand this. The moon will change you, and you will not return untouched. The climb took days or moments, Alara could not tell. Time bent like soft metal. The sky deepened, stars falling away as she rose beyond them. At last, she stood before the moon itself, no longer distant or gentle, but immense and scarred, humming with ancient power. It pulsed like a heart, slow and tired. Elara reached out. The moment her fingers touched its surface, pain flooded her. Sharp and bright, like memory burning into bone. She saw everything the moon had seen, wars, births, betrayals, songs sung into darkness. Lovers promising forever beneath borrowed light. She nearly let go. Please, she whispered, not knowing if she spoke to the moon or herself, just for a while. The moon answered not with words, but with warmth. A piece of it broke free, not shattering, but folding inward, condensing into a sphere no larger than a lantern. Alara held it against her chest. It was heavy, not in weight, but in responsibility. When she returned to the forest, the woman was gone. The path had vanished. Alara stumbled back toward home, the moonlight dimmed but steady in her arms. Each step aged her slightly. Each breath carried a cost. She felt joy and grief braided together. When Alara reached Larkspur Hollow, the villagers emerged in awe and fear. The darkness lifted, crops steadied, children slept peacefully. Mira ran to her daughter, then stopped short, seeing the change. In her eyes, Alara smiled, but it was a quieter smile than before. She placed the borrowed moon atop the old clock tower, where it could shine without being consumed. It will last a generation, Alara told them. No more. Use it wisely. She grew older faster than time allowed. Her hair silvered. Her hands trembled. Yet she never complained. When the moon finally returned to the sky, full and restored, Alara lay beneath it. Smiling faintly, the villagers say the moon shines differently now, softer, more watchful. They say sometimes if you stand very still, you can see a girl's silhouette in its glow, keeping careful count of how much light the world deserves. And they teach their children this lesson above all others. Some gifts are not owned, only borrowed, and the bravest souls are the ones who pay the price to return them whole.